Okay, folks, turn 53. So we cast Stellar Focus, so our astral income just went up by 5. Cast a bunch of sight searching spells, didn't find anything. Unfortunate, but not too unexpected. Satis has declared a new prophet. We failed to infiltrate Lothric, but didn't lose the scout. So we are about to be attacked in Anramark by knights, which is, to be honest, a little bit unfortunate. I can put Shaig there. So let's move Shaig and Velden up there to deal with that situation. And I'm just going to set them to cast spells. They don't need gems. They'll just cast spells. Probably they'll just freaking throw, fireballs at people. We'll set them right there. These guys will be set on fire, so they will stay behind the Great Sentries. Yeah, and we should be able to wipe out the attack with fairly low casualties. Now, I've decided not to counter-strike Man, which I could. I'd like to point out at this point, like I said, he's got his god here. Let's have some fun, the Thrice-Horned Boar. He's got his mages, he's got no astral protection. I've got this guy who I've equipped with 2 spell penetration boosters, the Eye of the Void and a Rune Smasher, so his penetration is +4. He could easily cast Vengeance of the Dead, and then all these guys could cast Mind Hunt, and kill probably like 3 of their mages plus their god, odds are, this turn. But you know what? Satis is a bigger problem, so I'm gonna let it slide. I'm not gonna be salty. That's a lie. I'm absolutely going to be salty, but I'm gonna let it slide. So that's the plan. Also, I need to gather up as many of my research mages into one place as possible, in order to get Monomon to help them with the researching gooder. Because Monomon gives +1 research point to everyone in the same province as her, which actually adds up if you have a whole lot of research mages in one place. So like all of these guys who are just researching, all of them, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I can gain 13 research points by sacrificing. I mean, this is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is like 100 some research points, so it'll take some time to pay off. But I can basically gain more research points just by assembling them all in the same place. Is that worth it though? To be honest, 10 research points. I'm just gonna let it be. Whatever. It's not that big a deal. In any case, Anor Londo has actually summoned a Queen of Storms, which is good for them. Like they're doing well. They've run down Conjuration and gotten up to the point where they can summon Queens of Storms, which is pretty cool. And of course, we already know that Satis has hit Conjuration 7 because they have a Queen of the Lake. So I've ended my non-aggression pact, as I said, which means in 3 turns I'll be able to start hitting him with remote attacks and such, which will include definitely here targeting Vengeance of the Dead and or Mind Hunt aggressively at Sea of Woe in order to kill his dudes down there. Targeting them elsewhere is actually risky because Satis does have Astral. Satis actually has quite a bit of Astral. If we look at Satis, Marsh Masters can random Astral for one thing, and for another thing he has Shamans who have Astral. So the important thing here is to target it someplace where you don't think there is any Astral magic, and he may not have thought to put any. Also, hitting Om Nom Nom with Vengeance of the Dead would be worth losing some mages. So like, right now, I see Om Nom Nom in Mountains of Madness. I can absolutely hit him with a Vengeance of the Dead, and if it works, he will die. And it's guaranteed to target him because he's the most powerful mage there. The unfortunate thing is, I can't guarantee, because he has a bunch of Shamans here, and... oh no, wait, Vengeance of the Dead doesn't have that roll, yeah. Yeah, I can just slap him with Vengeance of the Dead. They don't have the Mind Hunt. They don't have the Mind Hunt effect. Never mind, I'm stupid. I can just do that pretty much any time. Now, I could. Here's a point, and this is something that people do. Obviously, I can't do it and won't do it. I mean, I'm recording on YouTube, so it would be really obvious that I did it, but also I wouldn't do this because it's sort of a dick move. But I'm not the only person in this game who can cast Vengeance of the Dead. If we look at the nations, Drangleic has Soulsmiths who random death, and so can cast it. Anor Londo I don't think can. No, and Orlando could potentially. They could have a Lord Arcane random, Astral, and Death. And what else? Grand Archive Scholars absolutely can. So Lothric can cast it. So basically, like, most of the nations that are in the game could cast Vengeance of the Dead. So I could hit him with Vengeance of the Dead, and he couldn't prove it was me. Except, of course, that it will be on camera. But you know what I mean. Like, in a regular diplomacy game, it would be entirely possible for me to cast Vengeance of the Dead at him right now, because I see his god. And then just be like, what, me, Governor? No, I would never do such a thing. Why would you think that? Which I won't. I'll wait my 3 turns, because that's only, polite and fair, and it is just a game in the end. For all as salty as I get sometimes. Anyway. So, Astral income, really good. Death income, good. Other incomes, water and earth are pretty decent. Nature could be better. Nature, fire, and air could definitely be better. And so could, nature. But we're continuing to blood hunt. We're actually empowering an earth mage in blood this turn. Who was it that we were empowering again? Where is he? Where'd he go? There it is, Stark. We're empowering Stark in blood, so we'll be able to forge bloodstones, which will let us kick up to Earth 4. And that will open up some other possibilities. Also, he'll be able to summon Demon Knights if we want to do that, if we want to actually spend research on blood. Which I don't, to be honest, particularly want to do. I'm never going to have enough blood to make a real difference. So, I mean, I could potentially, if I had just focused on empowering another Blood Hunter and giving him a Sanguine Dowsing Rod, I could potentially, because that would double the speed that my blood economy increases, and so then I could get another one in about 5 turns, then I could get another one in like 3 or 4 turns, etc., etc., etc. But even so, it would be like at least 20 turns before I had anything resembling even a small blood economy, and it just wouldn't be worth it. So I'm just using it to get a couple of bloodstones, really. And once I have a couple of bloodstones, extra blood slaves, I'll just kind of use them on things. They'll be gravy. I've got Domar here. Domar's moving up here with a bunch of great sentries. I'm forging another Eye of the Void there. And I should also actually forge yet another Eye of the Void, because my magic penetration for remote attacks is going to be valuable. And Eyes of the Void, Spell Focuses, and Rune Smashers are the wombo combo to enable the true disgusting Master Enslaves. Now, I do also have Bugsy Siegel, of course, who is native Astral 6. So that's definitely, like, Bugsy Siegel with a spell focus can absolutely drop some hot Master Enslave action. And that's great, because I think Master Enslave will be quite valuable. We are also going to need Nature Mages and Nature Gems, because we need to cast the spell called Serpent's Blessing, which fortunately is an enchantment spell, and we have been researching enchantment. It requires nature level 4, which means we need to have a nature level 3 guy in order to cast it. That means that we need to spend X more nature gems forging some thistle maces in order to let us cast Serpent's Blessing. That will neuter the Foul Vapor strategy and enable us to actually make offensives against the enemy. We also have the possibility of casting Haunted Forest, although I don't know that it will be super useful, so I probably won't. Like, I don't think that'll be super valuable. Beyond that, like, the high-level nature spells we're not really going to get into. Death spells, at least the battle ones, we're absolutely going to be dropping life after death in combat. It would be nice. We are going to end up with death 3s once we level up our Hollow Knights. Put a staff on them, that pushes up to death 4. That's not quite enough for Lichcraft. We would need to, like, empower once in death. So, actually, I'll tell you what. Oh, he counts as death level 3 always. Oh, okay. So what we're going to want to do is, Simaru here, we're going to want to empower in death. Because he's our successful Hollow Knight so far. I've given him a little bit of gear, a Ring of Water Breathing, a Copper Plate, a Frost Brand. Copper Plate pushes his prod up to kind of a reasonable-ish level. We're going to try to use him to raid underwater, possibly. Because we definitely want to take out Satis's water provinces, and I think overall he's defending them only very lightly. Now, we do have this thing, so we do have to hit that. And he's got a white mage here, and I'm not sure whether that white mage has any astral, unfortunately. So hitting this province with magic mind hunt is still going to be a little bit risky. Mind hunting against Satis in general is just going to be like really, really garbage kind of risky. But if he ever gets a commander, a mage that has a high number of kills, we can slap them with Vengeance of the Dead. And Vengeance of the Dead will actually be quite effective because it's uncounterable. You fail a magic resistance roll, you're automatically fighting magic zombies equal to the number of people you've ever killed. Oh, and the zombies that Vengeance of the Dead spawns count as kills. So the next time you hit that same person with Vengeance of the Dead, they will have double. And then etc., etc. If they manage to survive the first time, it just keeps spiraling upwards. So Vengeance of the Dead will kill anybody eventually. It may take time, though. Hegemol actually might be somebody that I could send underwater with a Ring of Water Breathing. He has very high prot already. I would like to give him some basic other gear, like this Star of Thraldom would not be fantastic. So we're going to drop that. But with high prot and high hit points, I could slap a Ring of Regeneration on him. And then I think he could probably, honestly, just go underwater and beat people up. Because, like, he'll be regenerating 6 hit points around and has prot 29. I would probably slap something else on him, like an AoE weapon, because his maul only hits one person. So I would probably also, let's say, take Domar's Frostbrand Vine Shield away. Give it to Hegemol. Frostbrand Vine Shield. Yeah, now he has defense skill 19, so even underwater he'll have something. Plus he'll entangle people who attack him. And with the regeneration of the Frostbrand, yeah, that would probably be the way to go. I would use a Firebrand, but I don't actually think Firebrands work underwater. Domar's wearing this helmet, which is fine. Hegemol has protection on his whole body. He automatically has a full helmet, which is great. Domar will hop up here. We'll need to start forging some more gear. I'm low on the old fire and water gems, unfortunately, and I'm also pretty low on nature, although I will be getting some. But yeah, so hopefully everything will work out well for everybody. So we're going to take all these troops here. Boop, boop. Bahuli can just pull them back here. All these guys were moving, but actually they can sit here and research. Because they were moving in order to attack man. I had the attack on man all planned out. It was going to be sort of hilarious. But instead, we're just going to research. We will sit here researching the day away. And, yeah, that will be the turn. So, that's turn 53, I think. I think that's everything I need. Enchantment level 9 is going to take a little bit to get here, but it will come. And I'll see you all in turn 54. Okay, folks, turn 54. So, we've got an Earth Mage empowered in blood. Great. We need to get some more blood slaves harvested so that we can empower again and work our way up to blood 3 in order to forge bloodstones. We manifested a little bit more vitriol. Wayforth the Bard was suddenly attacked by a lesser horror. Full disclosure, I had actually forgotten about this guy. He was just sitting over here being a scout. And then he was hit by a lesser horror for no real apparent reason. I didn't even think he was horror marked. He was horror marked. Okay, well, he was eventually randomly attacked by a horror, and the horror just killed him, as horrors do. Alas, so dies Wayforth, greatest of the bards of Hallownest. We did infiltrate Lothric, which is nice. We got some gold and a stone sphere, which is very nice. And some more gold in Aal. I'm loving this luck in this game. And then a whole bunch of scouts were attacked and killed. Lost a scout to Satis. We found a royal forester in the Grey Mercs, but he ran. We lost our pathfinder in Lothric, lost our pathfinder in Man, and lost a scout in Elderhill. And then we found another royal forester and killed him in Daman. And patrolling troops, fine. We promoted a Hollow Knight, Quellan. So Quellan has also now been promoted. And we're doing pretty well, to be honest. Quellan and Kimaru are moving back. Kimaru, I had moved up here. I'm now doubling back because I am actually going to attack Satis. I've been thinking that I was going to attack Man and start throwing remote attacks at them and stuff, but I gotta deal with Satis. Satis is the one in a position to win the game. So, yeah, gonna have to do that. That is, I think, where the Garnet Sorceresses are. We can see here a Monk and Wardens attacked, and their province defense includes Garnet Priestesses, Amazons, and Griffin Riders. So this is where they're at. He lost 2 Griffin Riders, fascinatingly. fighting these wardens. Like, I could see them killing one. It seems a little bit excessive if they were able to kill two. Like, that guy just really, really died quick. So what was the second death? Crossbow friendly fire? Yeah, it was crossbow friendly fire. That was it. Okay, well. Welp, these things happen. Alright, so we're kind of waiting at the moment. We're moving troops around. We're kind of holding on, keeping on. We're forging items and doing research. We're researching down enchantment, as we have done before. It takes about 2 or 3 more turns to hit level 8, and then beyond that we'll want level 9. Now, Unraveling is actually a spell that could be very effective against Satis. If we can draw them into a blob, we can teleport somebody on top of them who can cast Unraveling and then return out, so that he doesn't get hit by the Feeble Mind, hopefully. Because the way Unraveling works is the whole battlefield gets slapped by this effect that damages magic beings, and then also mages can get feeble-minded. So if you can hit a group that has a whole bunch of mages in it with one teleporting mage who can cast this and then return, then you can get away just spending the gems and feeble-mind some of their mages, which is sort of hilarious. In particular, you can make this easier or more effective by using somebody who has some magic penetration increasing items, like Trakan. Now, of course, it increases the risk as well, but if you have an Eye of the Void and a Rune Smasher, your penetration is at +4, which means magic resistance negates easily is actually the same as standard magic resistance negates would be. It's a roll against 12 instead of a roll against 8. He also needs some gear to keep him alive, and he needs either a Ring of Returning or he just needs to be able to cast Returning. Now, a Ring of Returning means he'll return as soon as he takes damage. That's less useful, to be honest, because you want him to be in it to win it in order to do his stuff. He also, however, needs boosters, so he needs a Crystal Coin, he needs a Starshine Skullcap, and ideally I would use this with somebody like Ophar, who's already Astral 4, so that can make him Astral 6. So then if I put on the Starshine Skullcap, the Rune Smasher, Eye of the Void, and Crystal Coin, he'll be Astral 6, he can teleport in, cast the spell, and then cast Returning. Because Returning is... I'm pretty sure I have Returning. Yes, Returning. It's Thaumaturgy level 2. Excuse me, pardon my cough. So, and he just sweeps back to his home castle. There is a roll involved, but can still be very useful. Now, the downside to this, of course, is that if we look at, not Thaumaturgy, if we look at our enchantment here, you may notice Unraveling has a fatigue cost of 600%, which means if you cast it with an Astral 6 mage, he is then going to fall asleep for a while. So it would be better to do this with a Communion. The way we could do that would be by having an Astral Mage, by teleporting in 5 mages, have them Communion, and then have them cast Unraveling. In fact, it would be best to do this by forging Slave and Crystal Matrices here, because then we can give him 2 boosts from a Crystal Matrix to make him Astral 7. So he needs to be Astral 5. So we would need, in order to pull this off, we need him with the hat. Then he'd need an Eye of the Void. We'll give him the Rune Smasher. I haven't decided whether I want to give him the Eye of the Void yet. The Eye of the Void does make you more vulnerable in combat because it decreases your magic resistance, but then the hat increases your magic resistance again, so it can be worth it. And it decreases your precision, but astral spells don't really require precision. In any case, so you would give him those 2, and a Communion Matrix. And then you'd have 4 other Soul Twisters with Slave Matrices. You teleport all of them in, so that costs you 10 pearls. You cast the spell, that costs you 7 pearls, because you'll cast it as an Astral 7, and you'll want to spend the 1 extra pearl to make it cost less. So he's Astral 5. With 4 slaves, he's Astral 7. That makes it half fatigue, so 300%. He can push it up by another with an extra gem. That'll make him effectively Astral 8. So it'll be 200 fatigue. That'll be divided among himself and the slaves. Now, the slaves will be lower than him, but not double lower, so I think everybody ends up taking 40 fatigue. And then he casts Returning, and you get out of there. It takes about 3 rounds all told. And this is, once again, only useful if you see a big enemy stack out in the open that you can teleport on top of. But the ability to do this could be very powerful. Now, downsides. The downside is you now have 5 mages, all of whom will be exposed to the... all of whom have to make the roll. And, I mean, yeah, the odds are that they'll succeed, but you can never actually guarantee that, if you see what I mean. So you're likely to lose some mages, and I'm using capital-only mages to do this. So once again, it's only useful if there's a big enemy target. If the enemy has rolled a doom stack down towards you with a lot of mages in it, then this kind of teleport attack could be handy. The other thing is, Satis against me might make heavy use of Mind Duel, because he has Astral 1 mages that are really cheap, and I have high-level Astral mages that are quite expensive. So, you know, yes, he's rolling at effectively -2, but when his mages cost, I think it's 65 gold, and mine cost 215 in a capital turn, he can afford to trade them at a 3-to-1 ratio and still come out ahead. So, you know, have to kind of be worried about that a little bit. But I think, honestly, my Astral Magic is still more powerful than Satis's. Overall, I have the capacity to cast the high-level spells more easily. And honestly, the teleport raid thing might actually be more useful to cast Master Enslave. Like, because if I've got the Rune Smasher, and I've got the Eye of the Void, with 4 slaves, I then would need to cast... That would make me Astral 7. I would then need to cast Power of the Spheres to make myself Astral 8, and then Master Enslave, which of course is Thaumaturgy 9, and I'm not up there yet. Yeah. I'd like to do that, but I think that's really, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to either teleport in a big communion of 9 mages, 8 slaves, to buff myself up by 3 paths, or I'm going to need to just do it in an actual battle. And in an actual battle, I can absolutely, once I hit Thaumaturgy 9, I can absolutely start dropping Master Enslave and just fucking clean up. But I'd like to get Arcane Nexus first. Like, I'd like to have Arcane Nexus up to make my Pearl income ridiculous, and then I can worry about Master Enslave. The initial phase of the war, as it were, is not going to involve Master Enslave for that reason. We're going to be focusing on hitting that enchantment 9. Once we hit that enchantment 9, we can cast Arcane Nexus right off the bat, because all it requires is Astral 8, and hey, look at what we've got. We've got Natural Astral 6. And then we can slap 2 boosters on him. Hey, he's Astral 8. Hey, presto, we cast it with all our Astral Pearls. So we also need to be saving up Astral Pearls, because once again, it's going to be about 2 more turns to hit enchantment level 8, and then enchantment level 9 will be like 4 or 5 turns after that. So, you know, that's actually not quite enough to gather all the Astral Pearls we'll need. But we're definitely gonna do it. I may actually not attack Satis immediately for that purpose, for the purpose of getting Astral Nexus up and running. And honestly, Astral Nexus should pay for itself very, very quickly, just by virtue of what it is. Because Arcane Nexus, sorry. Because basically, anytime anybody casts spells or forges items, which happens a lot, I get half of their power. Except for Astral and Blood. But, like, Nature, Death, those are both being used very heavily. All that stuff. And even when nothing is cast or forged, it also has just some general automatic creation. And I don't know exactly how high that is, because I've never actually cast Arcane Nexus in a multiplayer game before, but I would imagine it's fairly potent for 150 gems. And then once I get that, the world is my oyster, because at that point the Soul Twisters will begin to run amok once I have the Astral income to support that. Right now, 20 seems high, but it's not actually all that high. Padro. I would like Padro to go in and fight something, but eh. I would also really, really like to actually level up one of my slightly higher level Hollow Knights. He's at 29. Quellen is at 15. I had a third one, I thought. Robodan here is at experience 2. Who else? Ah, I need to make a profit as well. Twist Fate, Inspirational, and Leadership. Honestly, I don't want to make a Soul Twister my prophet. Well, because it'll make him more powerful in my Dominion, but less powerful outside it. And my Dominion does not cover the places where I'll actually be fighting. What I'd like... I would like to make a leader my prophet. So we're going to make Non-Bagor here the prophet. And... who's another famous gangster? I'll rename him something. I'll think about it. But for right now, this guy's going to be the prophet. And yeah, we're going to continue researching. And we're going to have you, sir, continue forging owl quills out of our air gems. And I'd like to give him a hammer. Take those boots off. Give them to Arnold. Arnold, make a dwarven hammer. And we've got this stone sphere now, and the stone sphere can be used to scry. So, it gives you the spell Astral Window, which lets you observe distant lands. And so what I'm going to do there is I'm actually going to give this to Pud, I think. And Pud can then cast Astral Window, and it doesn't cost any gems, I don't think. 24, let me check. Yeah, 24. Okay, so yeah, cast Astral Window on Sitis. There we go. And we'll just have Pud do that. Okay, that's the turn. See you in turn 55. Should be interesting. We're getting into the late game, and I'm still in a pretty decent position. So assuming the frickin' man doesn't, like, backstab me, should be good. I think we can probably take Sitis on pretty well. So, thanks for watching. See you next time. Alright, folks, it's turn 55. We got some arcane probing out, didn't accomplish anything, just a little bit. We did proclaim Lepki Puchalter, the Snake Shaman, the prophet of Bugsy's Eagle, so we've got a prophet again, which is good. We also cast Astral Window on Sitis to find out exactly what's there. Astral Window gives you pretty much perfect information on the province. It tells you how many units there are, what they're commanded by, local defense, castle, it gives you information on the fort. The magic sites, it lets you know what magic sites are there as well. So, of course, in this case, it's the Temple Marsh and the Empoisoner's Guild, because those are the starting sites for Sitis. I'm doing that with my Stone Sphere here. So Pud is now going to cast Astral Window on Mountains of Madness. Next turn, we'll be able to launch attacks against Sitis. And we're going to start off with a barrage of remote attack spells, specifically aimed to kill his Elemental Queens of Water and his Devourer of Souls. We can hit the Devourer of Souls with Vengeance of the Dead from Trakan, who has +4 penetration from the Rune Smasher and the Eye of the Void, and we should actually, while we're thinking about it, we can also forge him a Spell Focus for even more spell penetration. Or, yeah, Arcane Lens won't help. Yeah, I think the Spell Focus will also help there. So yeah, I can spend a few Astral Pearls to forge a Spell Focus here. We'll slap that on Trakan next turn. We've also got Ophar, who is Astral 5, and has a Rune Smasher. And we've got Banar, who has a Rune Smasher and an Eye of the Void. We can actually give him an Eye of the Void as well. So now we've got 3 highly penetration buffed Soul Twisters. They have Lost Eyes, but nobody cares about those stats on them. And so we'll also be able to start by slamming out a whole bunch of Mind Hunt into the provinces where Limni and or Bathuzma are. And by doing that, we should be able to trade, like, you know, some relatively small number of pearls for these, 70 or so water gem summons. And we should also be able to kill his god with Vengeance of the Dead. I may have a second Vengeance of the Dead cast, just because if I have another death guy up here. Looks like I don't right now, so I'll need to bring one up. Who's another death guy? Finball. Finball, zap up here real quick, so that you can also cast Vengeance of the Dead, just in case. Vengeance of the Dead always targets the commander with the most kills, so I know for a fact that it will target Nom Nom. Then it just has to pierce his magic resistance and suck him into the Nightmare, where he will fight the ethereal souls of everyone he's ever killed. And yes, he can kill them because his attack is magical and soul devouring, but he can only kill one per round, and they never rout. So when there's over 200 of them, he automatically dies, basically. He will go to the turn timer, and everyone on the field will be wiped out, and he'll either retreat, in which case it's an assassination and he dies, or he is surrounded and fights to the bitter end, in which case the turn timer hits and he dies. Vengeance of the Dead is pretty fucking broken, to be fully honest. Now, we do definitely want to kill his Queens of Elemental Water, because otherwise they will stop us from assaulting his lake positions and taking his lake provinces for ourselves. It looks like Satis is actually launching this army into Anor London territory. Anor Londo has also summoned a Queen of Storms, of course, and has a bunch of air elementals, his Demi-Lich there, and he has a very large army that's gone down here and taken this throne, which I think is the throne of... It was guarded by Zeus, so it's probably... Well, none of these seem super appropriate, to be honest. It might be the Crystal Throne or the Silver Throne, I suppose. It's probably the Silver Throne, I guess? I don't know. Normally it would be like the Throne of Air or something. In any case, we've got Hegemol standing here waiting for his moment. We've actually given his Vine Shield to Robodan, and Robodan is going to go underwater alongside Hegemol, just to help gain a little bit more experience. He's only at 3 right now. We've also got Padro up here, who has 8 experience. I might actually send Padro underwater. And then down here we've got Quellen, who's at 16. And down on this side we've got Kimaru, who's at 30. And so only needs another 20 experience to level up. I may actually give him the Vine Shield, because he's like an actual thug. Because if we give him the Vine Shield, he's got the Copper Plate, so his prot is 18, which isn't fantastic. He's got a Ring of Water Breathing, but I think instead I would like to... Yeah, I can send him underwater, I guess, but there's no real underwater target for him. I can skip him down here, and he can take that province. If we can make sure that Limni isn't going to move up there to defend it. So yeah, I've got options. I can send Kimaru to take out a province. That'll get him some extra experience, a little bit of experience per kill, and then 4 experience for being in and winning a battle. And since he has the Vine Shield and the self-buff paths, he should be able to take out, you know, reasonable province defense. Personal Luck Body, Ethereal Skeletal Body, Astral Shield, and Attack Rear. All of that will make him very hard for province defense to kill. And then... we can also... I'm setting most of my mages just to research, because I want to hit enchantment level 8 this turn, and keep tearing on down towards enchantment level 9, because I want that Arcane Nexus. I want it real, real bad. If we can get Arcane Nexus up, then we have a fighting chance. My fear right now is actually that I'm going to go in against Satis, and then Man is going to backstab me. That's what I'm afraid of. And that's what I kind of would really like to not happen. I'll have to kind of work out how to stop that from happening. Now, if Man attempts to attack me, you know, I can murder his god and his mages with Mind Hunt, and generally just beat the hell out of him, but I can't do that and do it to Satis at the same time. So, you know, it would be a little bit of a problem. Also a problem, I am terribly, terribly, awfully, horribly no good short of funds. So let's pump out some more troops down there. That exactly gets rid of all my gold. I am recruiting mages in most of my forts. I don't think all. I'm not recruiting any mages right there. I am recruiting a mage and some troops here because I need more patrollers for Stark to Blood Hunt. Over top of, I'm recruiting a mage there. I'm not recruiting anything here on the throne, but I will have Lemric patrol with these guys. Pardon my sniffling, by the way. I've got Great Sentries still coming out, and I'll need to give them to a commander pretty soon. There's 17 of them already, actually, so... Domar is casting Dark Knowledge, because I just realized the Mountains of Evernight have only ever been searched to level 1 death, and they might well have another magic site here. I mean, having 4 or 5 magic sites would not be unheard of for a throne. I mean, this site is already giving me 5 gems per turn, plus the throne, so 6 and 3 blood slaves. But if there's a death site there, I'd really like it. Like, I like death sites. I appreciate death sites. I would love death sites. Also, Sailor's Haven still hasn't been site searched for death. Cast Dark Knowledge right there, please. And Ross has never been site searched for water. So cast Voice of Apsu there. Just kind of filling in loose ends. And a bunch of these provinces have never been site searched for air. So Kim can fly down there and get that done real quick. In fact, I think none of these provinces have ever been site searched for air. So maybe we can get another air gem per turn or something. We're still going to hit enchantment level 8 this turn. We're working on forging lightless lanterns and turning some of our last few air gems into another owl quill. So that will boost our research a little bit. And we're working on, like I said, saving up pearls, saving up death gems. To be honest, I may actually not attack Satis except to snipe Om Nom Nom. I mean, I may just like kind of try to turtle, fight as little as possible, and ramp up my research real quick. But we'll see. We'll see. I think sniping Om Nom Nom with Vengeance of the Dead is very low risk. Now, of course, I can't use Mind Hunt to stop armies coming towards me from Satis because he has shamans. And of interest, not that one. So this is Anor Londo attacking the throne. He won, but he actually got a lot of friendly fire off his native lightning spells. They apparently do high enough damage to cut through the 10 shock resistance that his clerics were rocking. So he killed 5 of his own clerics, and he also lost a Lord Hierophant to fire damage, because he also summoned a whole bunch of fire elementals. But he took the province. There was, excuse me, the battle in Ulm. Let's watch this. This one was interesting. So we've got Man's forces out here. We've got Ulm's forces in here. And honestly, this is a pretty, you know, beefy Ulmish army, including a whole bunch of Mastersmiths, but all his troops are just kind of clumped up right here. So watch. Man summons up his choruses. And of note, yes, just to confirm, there are no Astral Mages here. Unless he has like a stealthy Astral 1 indie hiding behind. But he's got his chorus up. Ulm is spamming out Strength of Giants. We get a Howl cast, and then... Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom. Yeah, that was a little bit rough. Also, the Iron Blizzards start targeting the wolves from Howl instead of anything else. So, yeah, unfortunate. The Iron Blizzard really not paying its dues because it is targeting the wrong thing. If it was going back here after the mages... Okay, so now the Iron Blizzards are starting to actually target the enemy army, but now the enemy army is ethereal. No, not that one. Yeah, mist-formed with an air shield. So Iron Blizzard is not going to affect them. The Thunderstrikes, meanwhile, affect Ulmish units very, very well. Back here, the wolves are kind of causing minor problems, attacking mages and such. The mages are protected enough to pretty much ignore the wolves, but once again, the Iron Blizzard has been effectively neutered by the combination of missile resistance from the air shield and the Fog Warriors effect, the Mistform effect. So, and the High Prot. Yeah, he's dropped Mass Protection, I think, so Nat Prot 10 on everybody. Unless these guys just have a Bark Skin Bless. Nope, Nat Prot 10 plus the Wardens of Avalon have that thick Regen Fortitude Bless. So they're not going down anytime soon. They're really not. And the Mages of Ulm continue to spam their evocations, which is really all they can do at this point, to no avail. If I was him, honestly, I'd probably be casting Maws of the Earth. And we've got, I don't even know what all that is. That might be fire of some kind? It might be Cloud of Fire. But yeah, here come the Thunderstrikes again, and the Ulmish mages are now routing. So, that's the end of Ulm. Lots more Thunderstrikes, Lightning Bolts, etc. And that's it. Ulm is broken, they run. Those mages who cannot run are devoured by wolves. And as you can see, Man took very few casualties. They also hit the Troll King with Charm and actually captured him. So he belongs to them now. Whereas Ulm, of course, lost everything. So, very, very sad. Exactly even numbers, which you do not see very often. What could Ulm have done to win this? Hard to say. My money would probably be on getting the Svartalf Mastersmith into Lenormand form. And have all the Mastersmiths and Priestsmiths cast armor buffs on themselves. And the Troll King and whatever high-level Earthsmiths you have wearing Earth Boots, just drop Earthquake right from the start. Because Earthquake, if you can get it off before they get their buff, Earthquake will devastate Manish mages because they have low defense skill and 0 protection. So if you could hit these ladies with Earthquake, they would just die in droves. Whereas the Master Smiths have some protection and higher hit points, so they're very likely to survive. Especially if they're allowed to cast buffs on themselves. And of course, the Troll King won't even be bothered by it. Other possibility, gear the Troll King out for maximum magic resistance. So like magic resistance 30. So, you know, Lead Shield, Starshine Skullcap if you can get it, or Lead Crown if you can't. Amulet of Anti-Magic. Have him cast Iron Will on himself. At that point, you're looking at, I think, plus 13 magic resistance, so I think you do hit MR 30. At which point, this Troll King could stand in the breach with an area of effect weapon and earth buffs, and pretty much tank the Manish army fairly effectively. You would also want to give him... he already has native regeneration, so you wouldn't actually need to give him more regen, but you would definitely need to give him shock resistance. So probably I would give him a Storm Spool and Copper Plate for that 40 shock resistance. And the 40 shock resistance in combination with the Helmet Shield, Amulet of Anti-Magic, and Iron Will, plus Stone Skin to buff his prot just a little bit higher. That plus the regeneration would mean he could take a lot of this army with him. Like a lot of it. That could have been very helpful. Other options, and of course you'd also want to give him like a Firebrand or something. Some kind of AoE magical weapon to punch through that mist form and start doing some damage to the things that came to attack him. But overall, I think Man was just pretty much in too dominant a position. Ulm didn't really have a good shot at keeping him back. So, you know, well played to Ulm, good game. And he is now basically out of the picture. He does still have his Garnets right here, but there's no actual military units here, and they'll just be overwhelmed by this army. And he has this one fort with a lot of Black Plate Infantry and Master Smiths in it, but he's not long for this world. He's also got this fort, which is under siege by random militia and knights. And that also will not last too long. But so, that's the turn. I'm moving around, moving a mage out here to pick up all these shades, skipping down here to Aurum, shifting around some scouts and such, casting Dark Knowledge, forging some things, Thistle Mace, Spell Focus, Lightless Lantern, and otherwise mainly researching. Just kind of focusing on getting the research done in order to push up towards my ultimate goals. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 56.